What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders. Before we get this video started, I would like to take the time out to let you guys know that G Riders now has merch. You can go get your shirt, go get a shirt just like this one, black with the white lettering. This one's kind of silvery, but mostly it's white lettering. If you like it and you like my channel and you want to support me, definitely click the link down below and go get yourself some G Riders merch. What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders. Welcome to another episode of Testing Rides. Today, I'm going to be testing out the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT. Welcome to the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT. The LD generation of the Charger was introduced for the 2011 model year. Yes, looking at our dates, it is 2021. So this generation was introduced 10 years ago. And when the LD Charger first came out, the car was restyled to look more like the mid to late 60s version of the Charger. It's kind of the most iconic version, one of the most iconic versions of the Charger. And it looked pretty awesome. In 2015, Dodge decided to facelift it to bring it a little bit more modern. So it kept a lot of those same touches, like the taillights and the overall body lines, and they decided to modernize it up a little bit by kind of rounding some things off, give it a little bit more modern give it a more modern headlight and taillight design, and that design was very good. Like, I liked the pre-facelift version of the LD Charger, but this post-facelift one looks very good. And when Dodge did the facelift for 2015, they added the Hellcat, they added the new 8-speed gearbox on all of the Charger models, but because before you're only able to get the 8-speed ZF transmission on the V6 only, but now it's on all of them. And again, a great transmission. I've reviewed Chargers before. I haven't reviewed a V6 SXT before, but I have reviewed a couple of RTs, and the gearbox is really great. So between kind of the V8 powertrain, the nicest of the interior is pretty decent, but it's kind of starting to age a little bit. We'll talk about that when we do the walk around portion of the video. But between those couple things and the fact that you can get one of these with 700 horsepower, and there's just a full array of different configurations for a Charger, it makes sense that the Charger has sold over 100,000 of these each year. Per year that this car has been around, and it is just now recently started to take a little bit of a dive, mainly because one, a lot of people aren't buying really sedans anymore, and two, this sedan has been the same since this generation have been pretty much the same since 2015. Like I say, if you want to get a sweet spot of a used one, get a 2017, because that's when the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto became standard equipment. So it makes sense people aren't seeking out new ones and looking at used ones just because they've been out for a very long time now. This is the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT, and all SXT versions of the Dodge Charger come standard with the Pentastar 3.6 liter V6, making 292 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. And because this is kind of an old school, full-size muscle car sedan, this car does weigh just over 3,900 pounds. But despite the weight, this car does get a pretty decent 19 in the city and 30 on the highway. And on my 500 miles or so with this car, on the highway, I managed to get over 30 miles to the gallon, going about 70 miles an hour. So it's possible to get better than that 30 miles to the gallon. So this is the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT, and this is the base version of the Charger. And the base version of the Charger starts at about $29,000. But this one has a very special order package. So it has the leather interior package with the cold weather package and a sunroof. And this one with those couple options is about $35,000. And honestly, I think if you're going to get base V6, those are all essential options to get on this car. I mean, this car has heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, has the sunroof, it has heated mirrors and all that good stuff. So, you know, for $35,000, I think that's a pretty good price, because I mean, that's along the lines of what most like full-size sedans that are kind of compete with this car are priced at. So this car would compete more like with your Nissan Maximas, your Toyota Avalons. I mean, even though this is kind of a very different car, but that's kind of the class of car that this competes with. So $35,000 with the sunroof and leather seats is actually not too bad. But my opinion, if you're gonna get one, you have to get different wheels, because these are terrible. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in the walk around portion. But because this is a weird option package, normally on the Dodge website, if you spec one of these up, you have to add a bunch of other stuff like the 8.4-inch screen and some other stuff, and you get different wheels in that package. And that package, with the same options that this has on it, with similar options that this has on it, that one has the option package online has a little bit more options, but that one is about $37,000. But actually $35,000 just about for this one is actually a pretty good deal. I mean, you could just get aftermarket wheels for yourself and call it a day, you know what I mean? All right, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look around the car and the inside of the car, and then we'll head out on the road for the driving portion. All right, let's go ahead and hop inside of the 2021 Dodge Charger and see what it's like. So, since this is a modern Dodge product, it does have remote start. Just click the button twice. The lights flash, and the car starts hold up. So one thing that I like when they came out with the LG generation, the Chargers all have push button start with keyless access. So to get in, just grab the door handle, you have the key on you, open it on up, and let's hop inside. Welcome to the interior. When you first stop chiming at me. Welcome to the interior of the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT. So first thing you notice when you get into the Charger is, honestly, for the age of the car and everything, the interior actually has aged pretty nicely. They didn't do anything that's too crazy or dramatic to make it age quite a bit. So I mean, like, you touch the door panels up here, it's soft touch, and you touch the dash, it's pretty decent quality leather. The gauges are really clear, except now it's probably time to see some all digital instead of this half digital, half analog. I like it, but most cars have all digital nowadays, so it's kind of time to start seeing that. Some of the switches, all the switches and things that are in this car are stuff you still see in newer Dodge and Chrysler products. So honestly, it's not too bad. I mean, you do have the 7-inch screen, which is really small. I would love to see, I like the 8.4-inch screen, but now they even have a 10-inch screen that you can get in the Durango and the Pacifica. So I can't wait till they put one of those in a Charger. You have your putter shifter, which I liked. Before, they had the weird shifter that was electronic and you couldn't really pinpoint where to put it and drive or whatever, but I'm glad they changed that out for the putter shifter. I think that's pretty nice. Down there you got your Dodge Brothers designed in Detroit kind of little piece there for this little storage area, which is nice there. You got Charger across the dash, which is nice. You got Charger against the dash, which is nice. You also got the nice cup holders. But these seats, so this car has the Napa leather trimmed seats, and these seats are really nice actually. Like, it has kind of a two-tone, so it's like a black and like dark gray with the stitching. I think it looks pretty awesome. Honestly, it's really similar to the pattern that you get with cloth seats in the Chargers, but of course these are because it's the Napa leather, it is heated and cooled and all that good stuff, so that's really nice. But I'm glad, but you know, this is one of the first times I've been in a Charger with leather seats. Well, not the first time I've been in a Charger with leather seats, but first time I've reviewed a Charger with leather seats, and I like these leather seats quite a bit. And I like that they're not as thick as like the SRT kind of sporty seats. I mean, they're not, the sport seats are nice and everything, but I think they're just too thick for kind of what they are. And these seats, seats are a lot more comfortable, and they look really good too. But for the most part, the front of the Charger is really nice. I mean, let's go ahead and go into infotainment. You know, it works really well. You got your heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel there. Got your apps, your satellite radio and all that good stuff. There's also rewindable satellite radio, which is pretty nice too. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Let me see, go and connect my phone. This car does have the 7-inch screen, which is the standard screen, instead of having the little 5-inch screen that it used to have. But the fact that it doesn't fill up the whole entire 7-inch screen is a little bit annoying. I wish it would. Like, I mean, they could stretch it out to the sides a little bit and do more of a widescreen effect. But that is, I figured out that's there because if you go to your like heated seats, heated steering wheel, it shows you that stuff on the left side. So and it also shows you, like, if you have your climate on, what your temperature is on the sides too. So it does have a purpose, but I just wish they could have figured out a more creative way to do that. But again, that's probably where a newer infotainment system or in a bigger screen will come into play. So I think that's, I mean, it is what it is. It was pretty good for its time, but it's kind of now it's time to see something different. Looking up top, this car does have the sunroof, as I talked about, and it's a pretty nice size sunroof. I'll switch to the other angle, but it's a pretty nice size sunroof. A lot of cars have panoramic sunroofs, even like its cousin, the 300, has a panoramic sunroof. But I don't say that the Charger it would be pretty cool to have a panoramic sunroof in here, but it's also not really that necessary, my opinion, because I mean, I think the sunroof opens up enough, but it'd be nice to have a sunroof, panoramic sunroof for the back seats, you know, because it's looking back there, it's a bit dark. But also with this car having kind of a special package, this car does also have heated seats in the rear, which is pretty nice. I'm not going to get back there. I mean, it's a sedan. Also, Chargers are not known for having the biggest back seats ever because it has the drive shaft in the middle, so it has to have that tunnel in the middle. So like if you got it stuck in the middle, you'll have to deal with the hump, and the hump is pretty big in this car. So yeah, I'm not going to get back there. But with that, all that being said, I like this interior for what it is, for the time it was developed. But I am ready to see I actually am fully ready to see an all-new Charger with an updated interior and updated powertrains and things like that. But you know, for now, this one is still good. And honestly, if you want to look at a used one, you know, these Chargers age pretty, the interiors hold up pretty well over miles. Like, for my job, I see a lot of pretty heavily used and high mileage Chargers, and they hold up very well to a bunch of, to some wear. So I think that's pretty decent. But with that said, let's go ahead and head on the road and see how this bad boy drives. Welcome to the driving portion of the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT. Let's go ahead and head on the road and see how this thing drives. All right, so because of the Charger and it's a muscle car, even though this was a V6, I'm still kind of considered a muscle car. Let's go ahead and put in sport mode and see how this thing goes. Not bad at all. So first thing you notice with this kind of being the V6, everybody always looks down on V6 or like 4-cylinder or not the V8 version of the muscle cars. And I mean, I'm not really gonna consider this a muscle car, but the fact of the matter is, this is pretty decently quick. Like, it's not a slow car at all. Like, you know, the V6 makes 292 horsepower, so almost 300 horsepower. Yes, this car does weigh 4,000 pounds, but this car does make pretty decent power. And you know, when you get out on the road, it's not that slow of a car. It's not that bad at all. No, it's not as quick as its V8 counterparts, but it's still pretty decent for the base engine. Like, I understand that, before I kind of get talking about this, like, you know, not everybody wants the V8 version of the car because, you know, it's either too loud or fuel economy is not good enough. And I understand that's what these Chargers are about, but some people just want the look. And I know a lot of enthusiasts, especially muscle car enthusiasts, look down on people for that, but it's out there because, I mean, as you may see, not every single car, not every single Charger or Challenger or Camaro or Mustang that is sold is a V8 version. It's the lower motor, but because that's enough for some people. And honestly, like, if I was buying a Charger for my everyday life right now, of what my life is like right now, like something more like a GT would be perfect for me, because I want a decent amount of power. I want some decent fun to driveness, but I don't necessarily want a V8 car. It's just I do way too much driving to have a V8. I understand you can have a V8 and have it daily, but that's not an option for a lot of people. And you know, it makes sense why the V6 version exists. I mean, honestly, I can even foresee when the next generation Charger comes out, whenever that will be, that it could be a 4-cylinder turbo, like what the Mustang did. And honestly, that might not be the worst thing in the world, because that means the Charger will get a lot better gas mileage and have a lot more torque and things like that. You know, some people could be like, oh, a V6 Charger, oh, why would you ever do that? Or a 4-cylinder Charger, oh, why would you ever do that? But the fact of the matter is, not everybody wants the V8, and the V8 doesn't work for everybody's life. So I'm just gonna kind of start the video with that. So, how does the 2021 Dodge Charger SXT drive? Well, the SXT drives really nicely. It's a really comfortable car. Since it is on the horribly ugly 17-inch wheels, the ride is really nice. It's really soft and comfortable without being sloppy and mushy, which is pretty nice. The car does go around corners pretty decently. I mean, it's not like a lightweight sports car, nothing, but it's not bad for what it is. Suspension is, again, it's really nice. Like, it has a pretty good compliance, and since it has some sidewall in the tires, and this is not the lower sporty suspension, it rides pretty good actually. So I'm pretty happy about the way this thing rides. So hold on, I'll finish saying what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna turn here, but steering is pretty decent. Dodge Charger steering is actually always been pretty decent. It's never been like numb and nothing there, but it's not like the most like communicative steering ever. Like, it's not too bad. If you've driven any Charger or Challenger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you haven't, it's pretty decent steering. Like, it's nothing to write home about, nor is it the worst thing in the world. Comfort wise in this car is a really comfortable car to drive. As you guys know, I'm over 6 feet tall and over 350 pounds, and this car has plenty of room. Even with the sunroof, this car has a lot of room. I have pretty decent head space, pretty decent shoulder space. The seats are really comfortable. It's not like a sports seat that cuts off your circulation after sitting in it for a while. And I have to admit, sometimes the sporty seats that you get in like the GT and the Super Track, they used to be able to get like the Super Track Pack Chargers and things like that. The side bolsters sometimes are a little bit, the side bolsters are a little bit much sometimes, and it feels like I'm sitting on top of the seat, not in the seat. So I love the comfort seats for sure. This car has pretty decent visibility. You can see decently out of the car. There are out of the front of the windshield, but if you're trying to check your blind spot and stuff like that, this car is similar to like the Challenger, to where like it has some pretty bad blind spots. And I wish, well, not I wish, but if I was speccing this car from new, I would definitely get blind spot monitoring, because honestly, you do need it in this car. There is a decent amount of blind spots, and you gotta, when you look over, sometimes you you can't really see. Like, there was a time I was getting over and I checked a couple times and I thought I was good, and then I got it over right in front of someone and they're pissed. I'm like, sorry, rolling blind spot. Driving basically a blind spot, a cave. So yeah, that was, I mean, but honestly, a lot of these cars just get blind spot monitoring. It makes your life so much easier. I like the fact that this one has a sunroof, because unlike most of the Challengers I've driven, this Charger having a sunroof, it makes it less cave-like. The sunroof is pretty big. You get lots of natural light in, and honestly, like I've talked about this in other videos, I love having sunroof in a car. If a car does not have a sunroof, it's a deal breaker. I do not want to buy it, so it's nice to get a test one with a sunroof, because it just makes this car's experience a lot better. So just couple things about kind of the controls of this car. Oh, again, a random school zone. Couple things for the controls of this vehicle. So I love that this car has buttons and knobs and everything's not, because it's kind of made in the old school when that was still a thing, to where like everything is controlled by knobs and buttons. So it's nice that you can select everything, like your temperatures and your fan speed and all that good stuff with you can select all that stuff with the buttons. So like if I turn this knob, the climate control turns on. If I hit these buttons there, all the different climate control things turn on. Only thing I wish this car had was hard buttons for the heated and cold seats and the heated steering wheel. That stuff you have to hit controls and you go there, but that's the only thing that's kind of in the infotainment system that you have to interact with. I mean, it's not that bad, but I just wish that weren't the case. Another thing, I love how kind of big and clear, easy to see and use all the buttons on the steering wheel are. I've driven tons of Dodge products over the years, and you know, it's just so familiar when you get in here, and I think that's pretty nice. Another thing that I really like about the Charger is the fact that how solid and sturdy this car feels on the road. This car weighs 4,000 pounds, and you feel that every bit of that 4,000 pounds when you try to go around the corner. But when you're just driving down the road, it just feels like a nice, heavy, substantial car. And that's the one thing that I always like about Chargers, is the fact that they are nice, heavy, substantial cars, and you feel safe in the car when you're driving it. And you know, there's just there's just a great feeling about a nice big full-size sedan, that you feel nice and stable and comfortable and confident in the way the car handles and drives and feels and everything like that. So that's one thing that I also like about Chargers. But okay, the Charger has been out, this generation Charger has been out since 2011, and that is a long time for a car to be out. And I think it's time for a new generation Charger. I think it's been time for a new generation Charger, but FCA turned to Stellantis, and I know that there's a big transitionary phase right now. They're more worried. Some of their older model lines, they're kind of working on redesigning those right now, and I know that because the new generation Grand Cherokee just got unveiled, and then the Grand Wagoneer, which is like their full-size SUV, got unveiled. So I do think that the Charger and Challenger may be next on the list to get updated. And even if you know, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, to be honest with you, based on like what sedan sales are looking like. But the Charger is one of those sedans that it sells. Like, you know, they move about 100,000. They move about 100,000 of these a year. So you know, it's definitely worth their time to redesign and update this iconic car, this Charger. And I am excited to see what they're going to do with that. Definitely go drive all the different models of the Charger and figure out which one is best for you, because you can have this car in so many different flavors. Base V6 rear-wheel drive, base V6 all-wheel drive, a little bit upgraded V6, a little bit upgraded rear-wheel drive. You can have the 5.7 V8, you can have the 6.4 V8, you can have the 6.2 supercharged V8 in 707 horsepower and 797 horsepower. Like, there's so many different flavors of this car, and you just got to pick the one that's right for you. But for me, my favorite flavors of this car are either the all-wheel drive V6 Charger, which some people can say, oh, it's not a Charger, it's like a crossover but a sedan, which I would agree. If you ever driven an all-wheel drive Charger or Challenger, that's kind of what they drive like. Honestly, I might be reviewing an all-wheel drive Challenger just to see what it's like, honestly, because I'm really curious about how that would drive. But also, you know, you can just, but my preferred flavors of the Charger is the all-wheel drive version of the Charger, because I live in Oregon, and we get a lot of rain and things like that. And you know, rear-wheel drive car in the rain is fine, but our rain sometimes it rains quite a bit here, and also I have mountains near me, so like, you know, if I want to go up the mountain in my Charger or something like that, I would love to have that option. And also then my next preferred version of the Charger would be a Scat Pack. The RT is fun, but the RT is not fast, and the Scat Pack is fast. Like when you go from that 5.7 liter to the 6.4 liter, you gain quite a bit of horsepower. So you know, after driving an SRT model, you know, I would rather prefer a Scat Pack over like a base RT. So you know, pick whatever flavor that of the Charger that you want. This base V6 is a pretty good car. I mean, you can get all the safety stuff as options, of course, but I wish it was standard. But this base V6 version of the Charger is really nice. It's comfortable to drive. It looks good. It drives really nice. It has pretty good power. The engine note sounds pretty decent. You know, I like this one with the sunroof. It's pretty awesome to have the sunroof. It makes this car less like driving a cave. Road noise is pretty decent. Road noise is pretty decent, so it's pretty quiet on the roads. A lot of what you hear is like a lot of the tire. It's not like gonna be like so like secluded from the road like a luxury car will be, but it's somewhere in between like a regular kind of Camry or something like that and like a luxury car, which is pretty good. And honestly, it's just good overall. It's an old friend. If you like Chargers at all, you're definitely gonna like the V6 Charger. It's just gotta be, if you driven a V8 Charger, then it may not be the same. But if you haven't driven a V8 Charger and you're considering a Charger, V6 is a good model. And honestly, this is the one that would work the best for my life at this point, just because this is gonna be a lot cheaper to own than the RT in terms of, you know, gas, consumables, the actual cost of the car itself. I think this is an overall good car. Go look at a V6 Charger if you're kind of wanting a Charger, but don't want all that comes with the Charger. But you don't like all that comes with the Charger. This definitely is a good model to kind of start looking at. So, if you like this video, hit me with a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, keep riding me. Thanks for watching. Hey GoPro, stop recording.